Hello, welcome to Day One Patch Podcast. It's episode 333. Look at that. I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. Adrian Petty's here.
Hi.
Matt Lawrence is here.
I am.
Tim Spence is not here.
He is currently doing heist prep in Payday 2 for us.
Okay.
hey, for the first time ever, I didn't say he died. But he could be dead in the safe house.
He died doing that.
Okay,
yeah.
so you did do it. All
yeah. I had to bring it back. I felt bad, so I had to bring it back.
Some of the top stories this week include HBO is filming in our home country of Canada. So that's kind of exciting. Did I say what it was? I can't remember what I said. Did I just say HBO?
Yeah, but that was a weird silence. The Last of Us.
Well, because I was trying to think of what if I had said The Last of Us. But yes, it's HBO's The Last of Us is filming in Calgary. Xbox announced a new headphone that costs as much as the Xbox Series X. Adriano thinks I'm being biased by putting this in the story this week.
I agree, and I'm sure we'll
Why?
argue.
Wait,
I don't think he's being biased because he put it in the story. If I had submitted and he put it in the story, I wouldn't have thought it. I think he's biased because he sent it to me specifically asking me to put it in the layout.
I sent you something else the other week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but not.
I thought
this.
it was an interesting story.
Yeah, but not this.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll.
I don't even have a negative opinion on this.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just move on. It's.
Loot box spending and problematic gambling has been linked, according to new research. And YouTube is experimenting with removing the public dislike numbers from videos. Also, I forgot to put this in, but the stores for PS3, PS Vita, and PSP are also shutting down. So we'll talk about that a bit as well. First off, what's new with you guys? Adriano, you got your list going?
Yeah, and got a little bit of a surprise on this one. So the traditional Hearthstone Heroes of the Storm. I thought I finished. I thought I was in the final mission of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and then the mission finished, and it definitely wasn't.
You're never done. You're never done with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it was a false ending, like you and I had on Borderlands 3. Some Overwatch and then I started. Because my brother and I got our PS5s, I replayed the most PS5 game out there, Helldivers. My friends and I got back into Helldivers, and that game is fucking awesome. We should seriously consider doing making that our co-op game at some point. I would.
Is that on PC?
It is on PC. There's a cross-play PS Vita, PS3, PS4, and PS5 on that network. Everything's crossplay, and then
Vita, eh?
yeah, and then everything is. Then there's a PC version which stands alone. But I would absolutely just buy it again on PC and buy everything all over again and unlock it all. Let me ask you guys something, because I think like the controller crashed or something on the PS5. The second time that I went to go play it, I turned on the PS5 for the second time, and I went to go turn it on. The controller was plugged in, and I pressed the button, and then like the controller was thinking for a bit. Like it was just like it couldn't really figure out what to do. And then so I unplugged it, and then it still couldn't figure it out. It was like the controller still flashing. And then I had to just turn on this control on the system manually. And then the controller connected, and I was able to get it going. And then I don't know if this is just a thing with the controller or if it's because it crashed or whatever. But I remember when you guys first hooked up your PS5s, you had to kind of majigger with the sound settings and get the audio out of your earpiece and back to the TV, right?
Yeah, it had to do with the party system.
The party system.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking is how many times have you ever had to do that?
Just the once.
Okay. See, for me, after it did that, and I go and I played the game, I set up the party, it went back to that setup again. Like I had to go back in and tell it not to do that. I had to go change the volume controls, and like I don't know if the controller like crashed and like I just had to reset certain settings. But that was like both times that I fired up that PS5 in the 3 weeks that I've had it so far. I've had to set up that controller twice.
You know, something's interesting there, though. So I used to plug it in by plugging the controller into the console. But lately what I've been, because I used to just stop playing and then no matter what the charge level was, I would just put the controller on the charger. And sure, like you could argue that that would damage the battery, but I've been doing that on the PS4 for a long time and the battery was okay. And like the controller would probably wear out before the battery in my experience. But do your own research. But the point of the matter is now I haven't been like, I've just been using the PS5 controller. And then when it gets low, I just plug it in actually to I think it's an old tablet charger here, and then I just let that charge up, and then I just unplug it when it's done charging. I haven't been plugging it into the console. Now the reason why I mention that is because I wonder if it's doing some sort of controller update when it's in rest and the controller is plugged in.
Maybe I would love to have an explanation. Like I said to myself, I'm like, if I have to do this every fucking time that I have to boot this up, like, I'm just going to predominantly use my PS4 for multiplayer games, and I'm just going to use the PS5 for the single player shit. Because, like, I found that the second time had to go in and fuck around the settings. It greatly annoyed me. But if you're telling me that it's not supposed to do that, I will see the next time that I boot it up. Maybe the controller just fucked up. But I was thinking sorry, go ahead.
Did you do the firmware update?
The PlayStation, like the system one?
Controller? So when you first like start up your PS5 and you have the controller plugged in or whatnot, it'll say, oh, there's an update for the controller, and you need to actually update the controller itself. And I think there might have actually been a more recent update too.
Maybe that I don't remember doing it on the initial setup, and maybe he did it in the background, like Matt said, like maybe it was in hibernation. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to assume that it was an update or it was just like a fluke, and I'm going to see next time I boot it up. But it was, I wasn't impressed with the second time booting up a $750 console.
Where did you change?
Oh, there goes Ryan. But anyway,
Sorry.
So what I did for my audio settings is I went in. So I have. This is my audio like situation. So I'll explain this, and this is how it like saves it. It's pretty simple though. So I have surround sound, which is like via a receiver, like a room surround sound. There's like speakers in the room, 5.1. And then I also have a wireless headset that I use, but that's through USB-C audio. Now, here's the thing is I got that later into the life of the PS5, a few weeks later, a month, something like that. I was using originally the 3.5 inch or whatever it is, or 3.5 millimeter, sorry, headphone jack on the controller. And how I had it set up was they were like just actual headphones, like two of them, not just like the one single earbud like the PS4, because that one for some reason was echoing. So I just was using like actual earbuds, and when I would plug in the headphone jack, it would actually, I set it up so that the sound would come through the controller, through those headphones, like through those earbuds, like everything would. And then I had my game audio to party ratio, like the mix. I had that set up a certain way. And to this day, like if I have USB-C audio and I use that, it prioritizes that. If I like plug in, if I'm not using that or whatever, and I decide, I'm going to use my wired headset for some reason, and I plug in my stereo headphones, then I'll be able to, like, it'll just automatically go back to the mix and it'll actually play the sound out of the speakers. And then if I just say like, use like the, like I can just go into settings and say like, ignore USB-C audio, like play through the speakers, and it will just play through like the room's speakers, assuming there's nothing plugged into the controller, of course. So like it seems to like save all my states, and I can kind of like just go to whichever state I want, with which there are basically kind of 3 of them. So I don't know whether like that helps you at all, like, but that's kind of what I had to set up, and it has stuck since I set it.
Yeah, because I got it the way I set it up. I pretty much set it up the way I wanted it to 2 times now, and I'll see what happens next time. Like I said, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say it was a fluke. But other than that, in preparation for Payday 2 that we are going to start with Tim after this, I downloaded and played all campaigns for Payday the Heist.
The first one?
Yeah.
All right. What the hell?
He has to.
Yeah. Like when we were talking about it and we said, okay, this is what we're going to play. I like looked at, it was Monday, I think. And I'm just like, okay, Monday, Friday, I have 4 days. I need to get this done. Wednesday, we're playing Sea of Thieves. That can't happen. Tuesday, I'm playing Helldivers. With other people, that can't happen. So I'm like, Monday night, it was Monday night and Thursday night. It was like, I have to get these campaigns done. And then Monday I got some of it done. Thursday I didn't even get around to it. And then pretty much since today was a holiday, I was just kind of in and out of the house. I've been playing Payday all day.
I'm surprised. I think like Payday or like Left 4 Dead 2, I think all the Payday 1 heists are in Payday 2. I don't know if that's true though.
Yes, and I remember somebody mentioning that, and I remember I thought the same thing. But it's the I think part that made me go, well, I might as well just play it anyways, just to make sure. Because like, admittedly, if I had never played the Left 4 Deads, and you could tell me, yeah, the Left 4 Dead campaigns are in Left 4 Dead 2, I'll still go and play the Left 4 Dead campaigns, and then I would have just played the Left 4 Dead 2 campaigns. So I played through all those. There's 5. So the way it's split up, I didn't even realize, but I think there's a Sony online entertainment banner.
Yeah, they published it.
Yeah, I find that like they published a game on PC. I didn't.
That's not the first time. Didn't they do? Was it DayZ or?
Oh, or War Z or something,
or H1Z1.
H1Z1. That's it.
Yeah, it's just I'm surprised because it's a PS3 exclusive, on the console. I'm surprised that they would have published it on PC. I figured that somebody else would have published it.
I don't know if it's due to them though, but you'll probably notice it, Adriano. Like, there's a lot more mechanics and a lot more levels and a lot more like stuff to do in Payday 2. But me personally, I found Payday 1 to be more polished. Like, it just felt like it was more, I don't know, cinematic or something.
I did find it very intuitive, and I found getting into it very easy. There were a couple weird things, like you can only play there's 5 main campaigns. 5 or 6. 5. Then there are 2 downloadable ones, which I actually have not touched, and I probably won't touch them. And then there's a 5, 2, and then there's an 8th PC exclusive one. Have you played do you know what it is?
No,
PC?
I think I've only played the base game.
So it's called No Mercy. And it is a crossover.
Oh, I played that. Yeah, okay.
It's a crossover with Left 4 Dead, where you are doing a heist in the hospital of No Mercy before the events of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, which is super fucking awesome, actually.
Yeah, it was really neat to just walk around Mercy Hospital before shit goes down. It's like, oh, I recognize this layout. In fact, depending, because the every time you launch a campaign, it is procedural. It doesn't, depending on the role you get, the dialogue changes in the beginning. And the dialogue scene between characters will actually get interrupted because Bill, and they got the voice actor, he comes on the elevator and he's like complaining about you guys wearing dumb clown masks or whatever. And then as you start the mission, as you're walking out the elevator, he like stays on the elevator and you see him disappear. But yeah, it was fun walking around Mercy Hospital before shit goes down. And
like, if memory serves, because I actually forgot all about that till you mentioned it. If memory serves with that, I think technically, I don't know if it's like canon, technically the Payday guys are responsible for the outbreak.
Yeah, like I didn't finish that campaign, and I probably won't. Like I played the first 5, the main game, which is all that really mattered to me.
Right.
But just seeing where, because I was literally playing it right up until we jumped on and we started recording. Seeing the keywords and where they were going with it, I'm like, oh, I think they mean to say that these fucks are the ones that started it. But you know, it's just a fun little thing. It doesn't actually mean anything. I will say, this is just unrelated. Working in a hospital has completely ruined me watching or playing or absorbing any sort of medical scene or any sort of hospital scene in anything, because I immediately just start critiquing it and saying, this is wrong. This is not how you do it. This is all wrong. And it's been a long time since we played Mercy. Like, I don't remember much from Mercy Hospital and Left 4 Dead, but just walking around there, it's like, this isn't at all how this is actually laid out. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I find myself doing that in shows as well. Like, oh, there's a hospital room scene or a medical scene. It's just like, wrong. You don't do it like that. That's wrong. And I just want to make note of that it's kind of ruined it for me.
Kind of like hacking scenes for me, where they're like hacking shit, and I'm like, that's not.
Yeah,
that's
they're
not right.
they're just ripping through keys. Like,
well, like they'll talk about, like, I'm not like I make websites and stuff, and like I'm not a hacker, but like they'll say ridiculous terms, and I'm like, that's not fucking related to that.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it the CSI where two people are hacking on one keyboard?
NCIS.
NCIS, yeah.
And then didn't they have to like go? The other guy went behind and like was opposite, and he was like technically typing upside down at one point.
Oh God, I don't know.
But that's what I've been playing.
Matt, what about you?
I have continued my Morrowind journey rather successfully. I have not beat it yet, but I have. I seem to like playing Morrowind in more longer sessions. So because the game takes a while, it's like more of a classical RPG, and I've actually been absorbing a fair bit of Morrowind content on YouTube as well. Not story stuff so much, but there's this guy on there named like Mickey or Mikey D, I think, that does like crazy like Morrowind and Oblivion and some other stuff challenges. So I've only been watching his Morrowind challenges right now, but they've been pretty entertaining, and I've been just kind of like learning some stuff. Like, you know, he knows about some hidden stuff in certain areas. There's a little bit of like build information I'm picking up on, and I'm also actually looking at some of the, and I'm only looking, I'm not going to play them, some of the older Elder Scrolls games. Like he was doing Daggerfall for a bit and stuff. So I'm kind of like getting a bunch of nostalgia, but also getting like a bunch of like Elder Scrolls history thrown at me, which is kind of nice. But as far as my gameplay goes, so what I found is so, okay, Morrowind is like a very unforgiving RPG, and to the point where, so the part of where I'm at in the story, and like, I mean, spoilers, but like whatever, it's an old game, but I'm at this part where they basically tell me like, okay, you need to go up and meet these people that are living in this camp way up near the northern coast. And in the beginning of the game, you start at the southern coast, and I've like slowly kind of worked my way up basically. And they're like, you know, it's really dangerous up there. There's like blight, which is like sort of a type of disease. There's disease up there. Like there's a bunch of disease creatures. So like, here's a bunch of stuff. And like, the instant I heard that, I was like, Jesus, like if the game is loading me up for this journey and they never loaded me up before, even though they've given me challenging quests before, this is going to be a bitch. So I get all the way up there and I find this camp, and I assume, okay, great. Like there's going to be merchants. There's going to be everything. I've run out of cure disease potions at this point. Everyone's screaming at me to get away from them. I get up there and I like find this person that sells like medicine and alchemy level things, and she won't sell to me because I'm diseased, and she doesn't like me because of that. So then I have to like pay her money to raise her mood so that she will sell me a potion so I can use it. And then this guy goes and he sends me into this tomb. Now, here's the thing with tombs, and I'd like to be clear that if there's any Morrowind players out there, I'm doing this from experience. I don't fully understand all the systems. I'm just doing this to beat the game, so I could be misinterpreting some of this. But the thing with some undead creatures, from what I can tell, and I believe it's the ghosts, and I believe it's there's like these corpse walkers as well, I think they're called. They can, you know, if you get hit by something, just like in other Elder Scrolls games and Fallout games, you can get diseased with whatever, you know, whatever the disease are called, gut rot, this and that, whatever the heck the different diseases are. And it will tell you in your status effects or your effects screen, hey, you know, you have this disease and it's minusing your strength. Hey, you have this disease and it's minusing your perception. The ghosts and the other guy, the ghosts and the corpse walker, excuse me, they seem to be able to do something to you. I don't think it's blight, because I think I've tried to use a remove blight scroll or something. I don't think it's blight. I believe it's some sort of curse somebody said online. And what happens is your attributes, which are seemingly random from what I can tell, get just like lessened. So all of a sudden my personality is just horrible and everyone fucking hates me. Or like, oh, like my strength is way down so I can't carry as much. And so like this game so it's like, okay, well, there's nothing in my status effects that tells me this happened. If it does tell you in like the bottom where like the closed captioning shows up, I didn't notice it at any of these times, and all of a sudden my stats are low. So someone's like, oh, you got to go to this city, pray at this one random shrine, of which there are a few, and do this one random prayer, of which the prayer is not described to you in the game. So, or at least not described to you at the actual shrine. So that's like to raise all your attributes or restore them all, or you can take like individual potions, like restore strength, restore this, restore that. So anyway, so I go into this big like temple, or this big tomb, sorry, and I start like looking around, and I'm being careful. There's like skeletons and stuff, and there's like ghosts and whatever, and I'm getting the odd disease, but I'm being extra careful because I'm scared of this like curse or whatever, but I'm also scared of these diseases. So I'm running around, do the stuff, and I find out that there's just like crazy loot in this place and some of the things. Like I find an ebony full helm, which is like ridiculously more valuable. So this game, the Val, like the gold value, or I think they're actually called Drakes in the game, the gold value of stuff is like actually a good indicator in a lot of cases, not always, of the usefulness of the item. So I was in there and like I was using gear at, let's say, like the 350 to 500 range ish. I'm like level 10 or 12. I went up 2 or 3 levels in this place, and I was finding stuff worth 20k, 8k, 6k, 7k, upgrading my armor. And I was in this place for so long that I like ripped through my armor. Like it was breaking, weapons were breaking, stuff was breaking down. I'm out of, armor, hammers or whatever, and I'm out of like all this gear to like repair myself. So I eventually get to the end of this damn thing. There's like this boss, it's a ghost, of course, keeps giving me brown rot. I can't move. I'm loaded up on gear because it hurt my strength. I'm all beat to hell. I don't have a cure, whatever potion. I have to keep reloading because I like swung at this thing for like 2 minutes and like I just didn't get any hits on him hardly. Real pain in the ass. So I finally beat this whole thing. Beat this boss, get this item, go back to this guy like I'm supposed to. I'm all beat to hell. My armor's half off. The game also spawned skeletons behind me. So like when I was running back out, it was just a disaster. The whole thing's a disaster. So I have all this really great loot, and I'm like running out of this place. I go back to this camp, and I go back to this guy. And as I'm going back there, I don't realize it, but there's this weird, I don't forget what they're called. They're like these weird 2-legged things with really big teeth. He started following me. So I go up, I give this item to this guy. He like says, yep, you did the quest, blah, 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 advance the story. And he's like, go talk to this person, which ends up being the alchemy person. I go talk to her. But as I'm walking over to her tent, because like I said, it's a camp, this big 2-legged thing comes running into this village. And so into this camp. And I'm like, shit, I better kill this thing. Well, usually the guards or other citizens will defend their town. If like some random creature comes running into the town after you, they will help you kill it. So I kill, and I make several saves, luckily. I kill this thing because it's fucking after me. Like it's from the woods or whatever. Like it's trying to kill me. And all of a sudden, like all of the flavor text as I'm walking by, people are like, you've like betrayed the clan, or you've betrayed the tribe. Watch your back. And I heard that once, and I was like, oh, like people in Morrowind are snarky, like whatever. But I'd never heard that one. And then I noticed they all start saying that to me. And I was like, what the hell? Like, was it because I killed this thing? Like, this wasn't their thing. It was literally just like this 2-legged beast. So like, I load back, talk to that guy again, whatever, because I had saved right before the village. And I ensure that this thing is still after me, but I don't hurt it. I don't pull out a weapon. I don't kill it. No one's saying, crap to me. And I'm able to like proceed with the quest. Like I'm able to like talk to this woman, whatever, but I just, for some reason, I can't kill this 2-legged thing. I don't know whether the game is thinking like, oh, you're killing something in range of the camp, therefore you're hurting like an NPC, or I don't know what's going on, whether they don't like me hurting nature, I don't know, but I can't kill this thing. So because of that, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm all beat to hell. I'm out in the woods in this camp, and the only way back is through this treacherous like trail that I've taken. So I'm like, shit, like what do I do? So luckily, they gave me, when they loaded me up with supplies, they gave me this scroll of divine intervention. And watching Mickey or Mikey D, he used that once or twice to like go to a town. Like he just teleported to a town, because this game has like quite a bit of magical stuff like this. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna get my ass kicked. So I like, I'm just going to use this. And I appear in a town and luckily get like a Silt Strider back home, basically. And I'm able to beat this fucking quest. But like, this game is like crazy. Like, you can get screwed. So like the journey wasn't that hard. I was stopping, I was grinding at places. I was doing like, because I thought like, oh, there's, dungeons and such along the way. There's quests and stuff along the way. I'll do these because I figure the game thinks, hey, you should grind a bit. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to like get stuck in this like difficulty spike. Well, I did anyway, so good thing I actually stopped because I don't know if the game scales or scales much, but like I was still getting my ass kicked in this tomb, and so that's Morrowind. Also, I discovered something interesting. So weapons in the game can have enchantments. Makes sense. It's in the Elder Scrolls universe. Makes total sense. Here's the weird thing, though. In my experience with something like Oblivion or Skyrim, when a weapon has an enchantment, usually it's something like, it does 5 flame damage on hit or something like that. In Morrowind, and maybe the other Elder Scrolls, although I don't remember this at all, but in Morrowind, that enchantment doesn't have to be based on the weapon. So this guy that I was watching, this, like, again, Mikey D, he found his sword of levitation, and he pulls out the sword, and the sword lets him cast a spell on himself to just fly. He can just levitate himself and just fly away. And I was like, holy shit. So like, I was like not really looking at the legendary effects of weapons because I'd be like, oh, it's a spear. I don't care about that. Like, I'm not going to look at the effects of it because it's like, I don't use spears. And that was in this big tomb. So I might go back to that tomb, or I might just try to like enchant a weapon myself or something. But like, now I know, like, holy crap. Like, I didn't realize that these items could just be random ass spells. And I was like, shit, like that could really help me. So my next step though, I've looked it up, and I've looked up like a summary of the story. I didn't read the summary. I just looked at like the chapter titles. And I think this is like not an official guide. This is just what somebody else wrote. And I believe there were 6 or 7 sort of quote unquote chapters this person has divided it up into unofficially, as far as I'm aware. And I am on the 3rd or just finishing the 3rd, I believe. So I'm about 50-ish% of the way through the story, which is nice to hear. But what I've done is like, I'm still using some of the gear from the beginning of the game. Like, I did get pretty geared up in this place, but I'm still using like a shitty weapon, shitty this, shitty that. So I decided, I'm like, you know what, screw this. This is like, Morrowind's one of those games where you can look up like where to go. And like, there's like, people who know how to play the game have a path, like go here, go here, go here. Okay. You're level 1, you get the best gear. It's like, it's like a traditional RPG. If you know what you're doing, you're going to be rewarded. So I looked it up. I was like, you know what? I need a new weapon. This is ridiculous. So I found out there's this relatively easy place to get some ebony armor and a really good axe, which is what I'm using. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for right now. It's in Vivek. It's in a certain vault. So I'm going to go and do that so that I can upgrade my gear. And then I'm going to try to continue the story. The game is super rich in lore and stuff like this. And I'm finding side quests. But I think I'm getting sidetracked too much. And I'm going to try this week to do a push to at least finish like a chapter or 2. I don't really know how long they are. But I'm going to try to like do a push to see if I can't at least get to a part where like I'm in the story and I literally can't get further until I grind. And then, so I'm going to try to like push the story, I think, at this point. But
could you imagine if this game had a photo mode added?
This game looks like shit.
But how distracted you would be if...
Oh god. I mean, if it was like modern day graphics, yeah, like I'd be super distracted. The thing is though, in this game is like, there's like I said, I've mentioned last week, the big city of Vivek. I have the draw distance like all the way out, like maximum draw distance, and I can't see it until it's almost right in front of me. Like it's almost like, if you look to like the right, you'd be like, in real life, you'd be like, Jesus, there's a huge city there. To me, it's like I have to walk up to the moat of the city, and then I'm like, oh, there's a city here, basically. So like the draw distance in this game sucks.
I'm surprised they never just released like a little update to fix that or anything for modern consoles.
They like Bethesda did release like a couple add-ons, I think, and stuff like this. There's some mods and whatnot that you can do.
I did see that.
Yeah, there's like there's definitely mods to fix this thing. Like there's mods to make it more, and there's also the Skyblivion mod or more. Yeah, Skyblivion, I think is what it's called. No, that's wrong because that's Skyrim and Oblivion. I think it's the other one, More Oblivion or something like that. I think that's right, More Oblivion, which puts Morrowind into the Oblivion engine like it's a mod. And I was watching Mickey D play it, and or Mikey D, and he said that he thought, although he wasn't sure, that you could actually beat the game in there. And like when I heard that, I was like, fuck, like I know how to play Oblivion. Like maybe I should just download this mod and do it. But like, no, I'm just gonna do this. Like vanilla, fucking beat this game, hit the credits or hit the end boss, whatever it is, and just like that's it. Then it's off the bucket list, off the game bucket list, and it's over. So I'm too far in, and I'm just gonna do it. So that's where I'm at.
As for myself, I've been playing a lot of iOS games. I've been always curious about kind of gaming more on mobile and my iPad, and so I've been doing the COD Mobile, and I tried out, what the hell is it called? League of Legends Wild Rift. So I think that just came out like a couple days ago, and that has been rather enjoyable. I think these games now are like, they're not making necessarily mobile centered games. They're now just making normal games on mobile platforms. And so it doesn't feel like a mobile game. You know what I mean?
What kind of controller support does it have?
I don't know if
using
it
touch
does.
using touch controls, eh?
Yes, I know that COD Mobile has controller support. I don't think League of Legends does. But it's a MOBA, right? So you don't really need, precision kind of accuracy with a lot of your tasks. But it's kind of making me wonder, like, where are the Blizzard games? I told you, like Heroes of the Storm would work perfectly because it's basically League of Legends.
Yeah.
And they got Diablo coming out, and I think that might actually be pretty damn good on mobile. And if they had an Overwatch mobile, it would be amazing.
I see with Overwatch, I want an Overwatch game set in the Overwatch universe that's just like a completely different.
You don't want it to be an FPS?
God, no. I want like you know what I want is the sprays that are in game. We have like the 16-bit pixel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I want like a 16-bit SNES era side, like just platformer, and
That'd be cool.
That's kind of what I want after seeing those.
Here's a question for you, Ryan. So, mobile games were like, well, they still are, or they're like those base building games where you click and you got to wait a day for it to build, or a few hours, or whatever. You can buy a bunch of currency and stuff like this. And there's a bunch of games kind of based around that model, whether it's base building or other things that are like maybe time based, I guess. Like, oh, you need more gas to do another race or whatever. Less real time. So here's the question though: is like those games are kind of tailored toward phone usage, because you pull out your phone, you check it, you click build this barracks or whatever, and then you wait till the next day or the next hour to check it. Whereas you're playing more, you have to sit there and do that COD match, or you have to sit there and like do this. Do you really find yourself doing mobile gaming mobily? Like, you know what I mean? Do you find yourself actually, would you do this, I don't know, in public as somebody would say update their like Clash of Clans team or whatever they do on there?
I mean, it really depends on if I know I'm gonna have time to sit somewhere for a while. Like if I was taking like a train or something, like if we went to like when we take the train to Toronto or whatever, right? That would be a perfect time to do it. I would have no problem doing that. Although the internet connection is kind of poor. I lose cell service certain areas on that trip. Because both COD Mobile and League of Legends are like online games, right?
Right. So I'm kind of like wondering whether these more console, I guess, level games are coming out because A, the phones can do it, right? So the phones are no longer like a limitation, or like less of a limitation than they were before. But B, is this more of a trying to get the people that only have phones and tablets that were maybe playing those traditional like Bejeweled, Clash of Clans, whatever, to get them to go kind of more console gaming? Like, is this an intro to them?
I kind of feel
is
like
this like getting us to go to mobile? Like, where does it sit? You know,
I think you're right with that first scenario there, where it might be an upgrade for people from playing the traditional mobile games. Because like I would like to know how many people actually play their Switch mobilely, or if it's just another console that they play at home on the couch or in the bedroom or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And don't actually take their Switch out into the world that often. I just think it's another place to play games. You know, like I do have consoles in my room, but I don't really play games up there anymore. But I have been playing COD Mobile, like when I'm in bed. You know, just do a couple matches before bed or whatever. You know.
Well, here's the thing too: is like, you know how like those mobile like commercials, whether it be for laptops or phones or whatever. Maybe not phones so much now because they last quite a while, but more like, I guess, work devices or more, I don't know, serious devices, if you will, I guess, where it's like a laptop or like something like along those lines, where they're like, oh, you know, the power to go all day. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but they always show a person just like walking over to the door with their laptop with nothing else and they leave. I'd be like, fuck no, I need my damn adapter. Like, this thing's gonna die. And you know what I mean? We're not quite there. And with these console level games, now the phones and stuff, which like kind of last like a day-ish, are now gonna fucking die too. So I'm gonna be like, fuck no, I need to bring a bag again.
I've been churning through my iPad battery.
Like you would, right? Like it's
I've been going from like 100% like in the morning down to like 30% at night. Like it's just horrible.
That's still pretty good though. You got a whole day out of it.
No, but the iPad is like, it has like a really long battery.
Super
long.
Long.
Normally you don't have to charge it like for a couple days, but now I'm charging it like every day. So it's pretty nuts.
How hot does that actually, like, do you feel the underside of it? Does it get really hot?
No, not really. No. And I even have like the graphic settings set to like high on COD Mobile, and the heat doesn't really bother me. Same with League of Legends. They do warn you against potential heat and the device shutting down from overheating. But Apple's silicon is really efficient, so
probably more so a warning for, like, remember we were in
tablet users.
Well, what I was going to say is remember when we were doing Pokemon Go and we were in a heat wave.
Holy
and
Christ,
and then my phone literally said like we can't charge because I was trying to plug into a battery pack. It's like we're not going to charge anymore because you're starting to overheat. I was like, Jesus, because you don't really think of it like, you just think like, oh, my phone's not that hot, but it's like, yeah, but the environment itself is also hot, you know?
Yeah.
I had that problem in the fall when I was going running and the temperature was starting to drop. The battery was. This was a phone that I used till the day it died, like when it actually died on me. But that phone was, I would run with it. And I would use it to track distance and data, and then it would about halfway it would just stop, it would just turn off, and then when I finally get to plug it back in and get a power, it's like, hey, temperature dropped, like, or whatever, and then said we shut down the phone for to protect it, because I guess it was getting so cold that it couldn't take it.
Have you ever left like an iPod in your car like overnight or something in the wintertime?
I left my first iPhone in the car overnight in wintertime.
Oh, it's sad when you try to boot it up.
It was terrifying. I took it in. When I realized I left the phone, it was frosted over. Like there was just a layer of frost.
Yeah.
I literally just took it inside and I didn't even touch it. I didn't do anything. I literally set it down and put towels near it and just kind of let it thaw out. It scared the shit out of me. It was a brand new iPhone 3GS. Oh,
yeah. Other than that, I got a new desk for my little computer setup here. Big old 72-incher. Got a lot of space now. And
that's
it's
a
huge
rising desk.
It's a rising desk as well. So it's a hell of a thing. I highly recommend it.
I'm trying to figure out, Ryan, so like now you have the same type of desk. So like I have some monitor arms on orders. I haven't hooked them up yet. I've never used monitor arms either. But so my desk has 2 like holes for cables. I think yours has 1.
Yeah.
So that's like, I also have like a wire management cage underneath my desk as well. But that's like just for cable, cleanup basically. I'm kind of like wondering how the hell to manage the cables going to the monitor, because the monitor is like a USB hub on it. So it's like there's power, of course. So there's power. There's the HDMI or whatever it is. I can't remember what I'm using. And then there's the USB now. That's just the one monitor. The other one has power. And so there's like five or more things being plugged into these monitors. With these arms, it's like how do I make the cables look nice, but also like not get in the way, but also be like movable so I can move the arms around.
Yeah. Thankfully, I'm not there yet.
Well, you have the movement of the desk, though, right? Like, how do you manage that?
Cable straps.
So as of right now, I can't really move my desk any higher because the power cable for my PC is like at its like longest length. Like it can't go any further.
Mm-hmm.
It would start lifting up my surge protector if I went any higher. So that's something I'll have to figure out. They do have like power bars you can get that like attach to the desk somehow. But I bought a really nice surge protector, so I don't want to give that up. I don't know. Cable management has always been a nightmare for me. I don't know what to do with it all.
Yeah, I don't like the thing with it too is like I've been doing a little bit more cable management with the new consoles and stuff, and like I find that the issue with it is that the cable management is like almost like permanent. Not that it's like super glued in place, but if I need a little bit more slack, it's like, oh Christ, undo the straps, like unwire the cable. How much more do I need? And it's like it's such a pain in the ass. Whereas before, it's just sort of like you pull out more, you know.
I don't have that problem. I've set my cables all the length I want, and I very rarely have that issue where
I do take my console to on like vacations and stuff though.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a hassle to have to unwind it or, tear it out of its management every time.
But like it's an HDMI cable and it's a power supply cable, which I'm almost confident is the same one that the PS4 uses. You should literally just have an extra cable.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Take your PS4 one, take an HDMI cable. It doesn't have to be your PlayStation one, just a generic one, and have that in a bag ready to go. So you just literally have to unplug the console.
Oh, wait a second though. The PS5 uses like the two-pronged thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, so does the PS4.
I thought the PS4 was like I'm thinking PS3. I was thinking the full PC adapter.
The Apple TV uses the same one. The PS4, PS5, and the Apple TV all use the same adapter.
Yeah, that is like a standard. Yeah, it's not like a proprietary one.
Yeah. So I
think those cables are rated for different, power.
Oh, that's a fair point too.
They're I just check it. I would just check it super quickly. You're probably
just buy another cable.
Yeah, buy another one. Like if in your case where you're moving stuff, I would have a set of cables ready to go.
Yeah, I think like because I'm using like an old desktop right now. The plan, like when I bought my laptop, because like this thing's starting to get like underpowered, which is why I needed a laptop, which is now overpowered, like more powerful than this. But like I just kind of like want to use this desktop into the ground, and like the plan is to just like use the laptop like a desktop. And once this desktop eventually goes, then I'll do that. And the thing is like that power, like, cause it's a gaming laptop, that power bar is like a real pain in the ass. Like it's big. And so what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm probably going to buy another one and have one on the desk and one in the bag. And then all I do is unplug the desktop or unplug the laptop and then unplug probably like a USB hub. And then I just like have my laptop separate. Like, I'm not freaking uncoiling everything again. Like, the hell with that.
Yeah. All right. Let's hop into the stories. So, first one up here, HBO's The Last of Us adaptation is going to shoot in Calgary area. This is from CBC. So, they announced it's going to start filming in July. This is according to the Directors Guild of Canada. Obviously, it stars Pedro Pascal from The Mandalorian and Bella Ramsey of Game of Thrones. Production starting on July 5th and wrapping up on June 8th. During a Facebook live stream, Alberta Premier Jason Kenney hinted at a very exciting announcement coming this week, and he said it'll be the largest ever, I believe, film or television production in Canadian history. So I think that's pretty interesting.
That's really hard to believe, the biggest one.
I find it hard to believe unless this is going to be a really big show, Yeah. Like, how many actual movies have, like, completely filmed here that would have been bigger or anything?
Yeah.
Unless they're just talking money-wise, like budget-wise.
I think that's what they're talking about, because there are major blockbusters that film in Canada all the time.
Yeah.
So, Hey.
And Alberta has been like trying a lot to get a lot more production there as they're trying to diversify their production. So I think it's pretty exciting. July 5th to June 8th. That's not too long, eh?
July 5th to June 8th is super long. That's July 5th to June 8th.
2022.
Yeah, that's a super long period.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
Maybe that might add to the production as well then, at being the biggest production.
Yeah, that's a long fucking time because they're probably as in the winter they're going to take a break, so they're going to like take a downtime.
Well, there is a winter scene in the first game.
Yeah, but the weather out in Alberta gets so harsh that they don't even want to put up that. They will say, "Fuck it, get indoors, go back to your homes in California or whatever. We'll come back."
I do think it's funny too. It's like where could we film a post-apocalyptic a TV show? And Calgary,
Alberta.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, they probably taken their time too, right? Because they can't exactly release this thing in theaters right now.
It's a series. It's not going to be
HBO.
It's a HBO.
Oh, it's an HBO series. I thought it was going to be like a film for HBO Max and stuff.
No, yeah, it's going to be a series. They also said that in some cases it's going to differ greatly from the game, but not. It's still going to be kind of the same story, but they're probably going to add in different, story beats here and there.
Probably going to be like The Walking Dead is to the comic,
right?
Because they have to take like
it?
liberties, right? Well, they went off track, but like that's probably what's going to eventually happen, right? I would guess.
Yeah, and I don't want like a complete reproduction of the game. The games are already cinematic as it is.
You've also seen it,
and if you want to experience that, you can play the game. Because there's been trouble with like Disney's remakes of their animated shows. Like the Lion King was pretty much the exact same movie. Yeah, and you go to see it and you're just like, this wasn't worth it,
Yeah, it's the exact same fucking. You don't need to remake a good movie.
But do you not think you should even ever remake a animated movie as live action?
Not if it's good.
But that's not technically like a remake. It's like
I really don't. We're really gonna get into this like argument.
No,
again.
I'm just wondering.
It like for me, it's not a matter of the format. It's if something's good, why do you need to try to up something that's already good or great?
Well, that was gonna be my question though. Like, are they trying to up it, or are they just trying to change it?
They don't change. Like with Lion King specifically, there was nothing really changed. They took slight liberties with Mulan, and they took probably more liberties.
Well, Mulan was quite different.
Yeah, I haven't seen the original in a long time. But like Aladdin was fair. There were some things that were different in Aladdin, but the major story beats are always the same. But it just if something's good, you don't need to remake it. Remake the bad shit.
Is it for a new generation? Is it for the kids today? Like, are the kids? So the Lion King we're referring to is like sort of a nostalgia point for many people for our age, for when we were kids. Is Disney trying to redefine that again, where they want the Lion King to be the nostalgia point for the kids today? Is that what they're trying to do?
No, this is exactly. So. Here's what it is: money.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they re-released the original Lion King as an animated feature, right, in theaters, it would not get as much audience ticket sales as a brand new live action Lion King. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like Avatar is not going to sell the same amount if they re-release Avatar in theaters. It's not going to make billions of dollars. It will make millions, but it won't make the same kind of impact as releasing a brand new version,
Yeah. Unless they do like like with Avatar, it is 3D, as I say, unless they 3D it, but it was already fucking 3D.
So those old animated Disney films are basically dried out, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're probably making a few bucks on there here and there. So to make more money off the IP they already own, you just remake it.
That's interesting. I wonder what the timer is on that, because I know you guys had said there's the Disney Vault as well. Like I wonder if they have.
Although I think they
all
scrapped
right,
that.
Like they
Yeah.
scrapped it. Okay, as I was
Well,
gonna say,
since they had Disney
especially
Plus.
especially Disney Plus, they can't. They need to keep
yeah.
stuff on there. Even if they trickle release their own stuff on there, once it hits there, they can't. They have to keep on pumping stuff on there to keep people in there.
It would seem weird because like Netflix has the excuse like we don't own some of this stuff, so it has to like our deals run out. But it's like if Disney removed their own content, it's like what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
didn't Joe Dirt 2 get removed from Crackle, even though it's a Crackle original?
Crackle didn't make it. They just they commissioned it.
They bought the first airing rights, I guess.
I think it came back though or something. I haven't watched it, so I can't really tell.
Like Matt, a Netflix original is not a Netflix show necessarily. It's just Netflix has the first distribution options for it. If Netflix decided, hey, we're not going to do what's a Netflix show right now, Ginny and Georgia season 2. They like another.
I do not know that.
It's a Netflix show. They're one of my clients. That's why I just pulled the name out of my ass. They want to do second season. If the production company that ran it said, hey, we want to do second season, and Netflix goes no, but they released a contract, they could just another distribution network could pick it up, or it could even be like broadcast. The hell, NBC could pick it up and say, hey, we'll take the second season, but it has to air on NBC. Those shows where they live aren't necessarily owned by those people. They are commissioned by them.
Although I think Netflix does. Do they have their own studio? Do they make their own stuff now?
Yeah, they have their own stuff.
Stranger Things is theirs, right?
Yeah, there are things that are owned by Netflix, but not everything that has the Netflix original tag is necessarily an original.
All right, our next story here. Let's see. Xbox has announced new headphones that cost as much as the Xbox Series X. This is from IGN. So you may know they already have like a pair. I don't remember the price of it, but it's like around $100, $130, something like that, right? That sound right?
Is it it's an official Xbox one though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think those were the ones that we talked briefly before the show. I think those were the ones that I was talking about.
Yeah. So those are already out. This is like a brand new one. It's done in collaboration with Bang and Olufsen. They've revealed the BO Play. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I have no idea. Portal wireless headphones for Xbox that cost $499 American, which just so happens to be the same price as the Xbox Series X. These new high-end headphones are the first product for the Designed for Xbox Limited Series program, which Microsoft says communicates how closely we have worked with our partners on each product to test quality, performance, safety, and security with all Xbox hardware experiences. They're made to easily connect to your Xbox Series X or S or Xbox One with lossless 2.4 gigahertz Xbox wireless connectivity. Why do they have to slap Xbox wireless connectivity on there?
Oh, because that's actually a thing. So the Xbox, how it was explained to me on like a forum is like, so I don't know how like right this is, but basically it's like Xbox uses like a special audio codec, and so for example, when I use my Arctis 7Xs, when I turn that on, I have USB-C audio, but there's a little switch on there that says USB or Xbox. I have to switch it to Xbox, and then Xbox assigns the headset to the user. Like it's like, oh, Matt signed in, assign it to Matt or whatever, however it decides to assign it. And it literally says like headset assigned to Matt or to my username. The like the PlayStation and computers just use USB. So everything goes under USB. That's what I was saying with Aaron when he was looking for a new Arctis, is that he was looking at the Arctis 7P. His will not work on Xbox. It does not have that switch. It just has a dongle and it only works on USB audio devices. But the Arctis 7X does have the switch, and so you can say Xbox codec or everything else, basically.
Okay. They're also compatible with gaming PCs and mobile devices with Bluetooth 5.1 and aptX adaptive. Charging only takes 3 hours, and the BeoPlay Portal offers 12 hours of battery life when using Xbox Wireless, Bluetooth and active noise cancellation, and 24 hours when using Bluetooth and active noise cancellation. That's pretty good. That's not too bad there. I don't think my PlayStation.
How long's the battery again?
12 hours when using the Xbox Wireless or Bluetooth and active noise cancellation. 24 hours when only using Bluetooth and active noise cancellation.
I thought I heard Bluetooth in that second one. That's pretty good for Bluetooth.
Yeah. Well, isn't Bluetooth 5.1, isn't that supposed to be a little bit more efficient?
I don't know, like when I was researching headsets, like the one I use, like I said, has a dongle, and I think it's a 2.4 gigahertz, like whatever connection and wireless connection, and I believe it said that, like in my research, whether it was done correctly or not, is that like the Bluetooth on headsets that would flip, like some of them would use a dongle, alternatively would have Bluetooth, the battery life seemed to always go down with the Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah.
Like with the active noise canceling, that makes sense because it has to like listen to the environment and cancel the sound. But like I'm surprised that this 24 hours is what mine last for. So that's pretty good. Like even if it works with Bluetooth, like that's really good battery life, I would say anyway.
Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think about the price tag?
I think you're going to enjoy your new Xbox headphones, Ryan.
I'm still waiting to get the AirPods Max, which are the same price. I'm not gonna buy 2 sets of $500 headphones.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
no, I'm not. No.
Yeah,
okay, well, here's the justification, Ryan. Here's the justification for this. Okay, 1 second. Not just for you, but just for anyone. You're a person that uses your Xbox as your gaming machine, your media machine, everything. So you're going to listen to Netflix on this thing. You're going to listen to YouTube. You're going to listen to your games. But here's the thing. You can also replace your phone's headset, it sounds like, with the Bluetooth. So you just flip this thing into Bluetooth, and now you use it for that. And now you just have one headset rather than AirPods or, Galaxy Buds or whatever you use for your phone. You have the same headset for your tablet, let's say. You have the same headset for your computer. And then you have yours, assuming that it can be adapted to it and whatever. And then you have your same for your PC or for your Xbox as well. So $499 sounds ridiculous, but with active noise canceling, it sounds like high class audio, which I'm not an audiophile, so I can't quite tell. And with good battery life, that works seemingly everywhere. Maybe not PlayStation though. That's pretty good.
If it's Bluetooth, it might, right?
No, you can't use Bluetooth headphones on PlayStation.
Why the hell not?
Because it won't let you use the microphone, I don't think. Or at least you couldn't on the
PC. You could still can't even listen though?
I don't know for that. I paired a Sony Bluetooth headset to my PS4, to be clear, not my PS5, to my PS4, and it wouldn't let me use it in a party chat.
I just looked it up here. The PS5 and Xbox Series X don't support Bluetooth audio. I'm not sure if there's some sort of dongle you can get. I don't know.
Well, that's exactly it, though, is like they're expecting a dongle. Like they're expecting like a 2.4 gigahertz. Like they're expecting USB audio.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the power of the dongle, is that, sure, it's annoying to have a dongle, but it works everywhere.
I'll be interested to see the reviews on this thing, just to kind of get a sense of the sound quality, because a lot of people were saying that $500 was ridiculous when the AirPods Max were revealed. Because like the high end, there are ridiculously priced, expensive audiophile headphones that are like in the thousands of dollars, right? But within the consumer range of good headphones, you're looking at like $250 to $400, right? So I'm just curious how these are going to sound.
Well, if they have active noise canceling too, I don't know who Bang & Olufsen, whatever it is either though.
I have no idea. Yeah,
like I'm not really sure what, like, I use like Bose speakers and like Polk Audio. Like I don't really know, you know what I mean? I'm just sort of like the generic speaker consumer. I don't really know, or like I just go and buy a good gaming headset. I don't really know what the drivers are in them and stuff. From looking at the notes you have here, it doesn't sound like it does work with PS5 though. That would be one like downturn. That'd be like if you had both.
Unless it has a wired option, but I don't think it says that, right?
Not in your notes. Like it just says the lossless 2.4 gigahertz Xbox wireless connectivity, so no dongle for the Xbox, which is good. Also compatible with gaming PCs and mobile devices with 5.1, Bluetooth 5.1, and aptX adaptive. I don't know whether they would have a headphone. Like, I mean, obviously, if it has a headphone jack, anything with a headphone jack will work with. But
So they do have a BioPlay Portal headphone on their website here, but it doesn't like show the Xbox collaboration.
or is this like a brand new thing? Because they're just announced.
It has one like little like picture here that says designed for Xbox Limited Series.
Are these things styled like Xbox though?
Not really. These look like their own design. It's probably just a marketing tag that they slapped on there, and then it supports that Xbox wireless connectivity, right?
Like these kind of just sound like
the
headphones.
Integration is.
These kind of just sound like
$549.
You what?
This says $549 on their website.
Maybe there's like a promotion or something, but like this sounds like they're just like BO or whatever they call them, B&O headphones that just so happen to connect to Xbox.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
I mean, although the colors might be gamer like inspired: black anthracite, gray mist, and navy brass.
Yeah. You know what I think's funny is people get angry at the price of things like this, but no one's forcing you to buy this. And Xbox has an alternative. You know, they have a lower cost one that got decent reviews. There's also a bunch of third-party ones. You know,
plug in like your earbuds if you want. Like you can just use earbuds.
People were so angry when Apple had that $10,000 gold Apple Watch, and it's just like you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy a $10,000 watch.
Yeah, that's dumb. Like people getting mad when there's no alternative is dumb. Like when there is an alternative is dumb. Like when there's no alternative, like even then it's sort of like just don't get it. But
yeah,
I mean, but if they were like buy the all new Series X, by the way, you got to buy like an $8,000 headphones. Then I could see people being like, what the hell?
All right, next story here: loot box spending and problematic gambling has been linked, according to new research. This comes from GameSpot. A new study conducted by researchers in the UK have found a robustly verified link between problematic gambling and loot boxes in video games. The report via BBC was conducted by researchers at the University of Plymouth and University of Wolverhampton and commissioned by the charity Gambling Aware. They took existing data and examined elements such as gender, the age of spenders, and how much revenue is provided by a small number of spenders. Based on this research, the study found that up to 40% of children who play games have opened loot boxes, though it does not mention if this number includes earned loot boxes or only paid ones. It also said about 5% of players generate half the revenue from these loot boxes, meaning a small number of players are spending an exorbitant amount of money, and that younger, less educated men are most likely to use them. Spending can hit $100 per month, and with younger and less educated people typically having less disposable income, that is a sizable amount.
I mean, they're designed to be bought. You know what I mean?
I think the crazy thing in this story, though, is that 5% of players generate half the revenue.
It's those people that don't see money as money, and they just see money as like a novelty arcade token.
Well, you know what's bizarre is that like, so we've like talked about this on 76 quite a bit. We play 76 whenever the season's on, and like quite a bit when the season's on. And we always kind of like justify things like purchases by saying like, hey, you know, we're putting a lot of time into the game. We're not buying another game. We're just buying this one item, or we're just buying this one thing. I know that there's like, you know, whales or whatever they call them, where people just buy like crazy. What's crazy to me is that if the number is so small as 5%, then the thing that we discussed, so when we were playing 76, we were like, hey, like, why is this $30? Hey, why is this $40? And when we make those purchases, $10 ones, $5 ones, $30 ones, we do that justification. But we've discussed like, hey, you know, we do this like once, twice a season, maybe. We would probably make more purchases if they were actually cheaper, like, $5, $2, $1.
For sure.
But here's the thing, though. Is it as much as that 5%? Probably not.
That's the problem, is they outspend us. That 5% will always outspend us. And
Because
so
we always talk rationally about that. Like, I mean, these people might be streamers or something, though. So rationally, they just like buy everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it also says that they're younger and less educated, which probably means they don't have a lot of disposable income, and yet they're still spending it on these loot boxes.
It'd be interesting to see
crazy.
that. It'd be interesting to see, though, like, if you were to say cut off loot boxes, whether the same people would go and spend the same amount on something equally as, like, not important, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not loot boxes, is it just a matter of something else?
Probably.
I don't know what the other thing could be.
But it doesn't necessarily even have to be video game related.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, it's just going to be...
Like, are they just going to order out more? Like what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Well, they're linking it to problematic gambling. So it's almost like these people would be gambling otherwise. Or at least in the same kind of bucket as the people who gamble.
That's a fair point. That's kind of scary, actually.
I'm curious to also know if the COVID-19 lockdown, like how are casinos operating? Probably not a whole lot. So they probably have to have an outlet some other way. Weed shops and liquor stores are allowed to continue to operate because those people need that vice, and the government knows that. But like gambling is something that people need to use as an outlet, and they no longer have that. Or at least they shouldn't for certain COVID restrictions.
I mean, there are online casinos. I don't know what the legalities of those are in different jurisdictions, but there are online casinos.
Yeah.
But you are correct in that if they're being locked in, they might be like, "Oh, I can do more time gaming," and then when they get their gambling fix, kind of unknowingly through the game potentially or something like that.
This is a good question though that you raised, Matt. So obviously they make a ton of money off this 5% of people, but could they get a larger base, like let's say 10 to 15% of more average users if they lowered the price? Those whales you were talking about are still going to be there, and they're still going to buy a ton of stuff.
But
right?
they're, even if they buy, like, if 3 items are $30, so together they're $90. You buy 3 of them, you get 90. It's $90. They lower those to $2. So now, I buy it. So that's, here's your $6, and then the whale buys it. They've made 12.
I wonder if there's a sweet spot though.
That's a good question. Well, the sweet spot could be the deals they put on. Like, hey, buy this package where you get 500, like in 76 case, like 500 atoms or whatever it is, plus this costume. Like, I wonder if those package deals, because they do appeal to us. Like, I wonder if that's a widespread thing, because we're obviously a small sample size, but maybe those deals are to bring in, because like to me, it's like, hey, I will pay for Fallout first because I'm playing Fallout a lot. But the instant that we stop, like obviously we're waiting for the next season right now, but like let's say we like all of us just say, you know what, like we're done with next season, we're not going to do it. If that's the case, like I'm probably out on Fallout first.
Right.
And so like I'm paying because it's a good deal for me because of the amount I'm playing it. It like just makes sense. The same with Game Pass in a way, right? It's like, am I using the crap out of Game Pass every single day? No, but it is worth it because the only game to my recent memory that I've purchased is Call of Duty. I don't remember any other game I've purchased on Xbox.
On Xbox.
That's fucking unheard of. Like that's bought a new console. I didn't buy any games. Like that's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like what the hell?
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, next story here. YouTube is experimenting with removing public dislike numbers from videos. This comes from GameSpot. YouTube's most disliked video of all time include classics like Justin Bieber's Baby.
Of course.
Rebecca Black's Friday.
Oh my God, I forgot.
And the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare reveal trailer.
Oh.
What's the story behind that? Why don't people like that?
Because it went to space.
Oh right, with Kit Stark, Kit Harington. What's his name?
I don't know what that means.
That is the guy from Game of Thrones. He's in that one.
I don't know.
Was he in that one?
I thought he was.
Was he in one of these?
I thought so.
I don't know about that.
What's the name of it?
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Sorry, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm gonna IMDb this.
But a new update may take away viewers' ability to tell how many users disliked any given video. YouTube says it is currently testing the change, which wouldn't remove the dislike button, but would make the metric visible only to creators. Only select users are part of the experiment to begin with YouTube sharing a screenshot of what the new user interface will look like for the testing group. The number of likes would still be displayed under the thumbs up button, while the dislike button no longer has a number attached. YouTube's announcement of the experiment has been generally disliked by the YouTube community, with many replies and quote retweets on Twitter criticizing the move. Even high-profile YouTubers such as Jacksepticeye and Rubber Ninja have expressed doubts about the change, while other users have pointed out how easily committed dislikers will get around the restrictions.
Well, here's a little, I don't know whether it's changed or whether it's in more regions now, but here's like a little known fact about Instagram, or at least from what I can tell. In Canada, they no longer show us the like buttons, the amount of likes publicly. It is visible to the creator, and people are obviously still able to like posts, but I can't see how many people liked a certain post on the Instagram app.
Yeah.
Now, that was in Canada and a couple other countries and regions, and I don't know whether it's expanded since. And it was met with quite a bit of anger, from what I can tell, but it also like didn't kill Instagram, and like Instagram's still going, you know. And I actually don't mind it, to be honest.
It makes no difference to the user, you know.
But what it is, I think, is it's validation. Like it's you look at it like, oh yeah, a million people like this, I kind of like it, sure, and then you like it too.
Yeah,
I think that Instagram and in this case YouTube is probably trying to make it so that you independently dislike something, because people will pile on like, oh yeah, like, are we review bombing this? Let's go find some videos about it. Oh, we're review bombing this. Let's like, there's 1,000 dislikes and like 100 likes. I'll dislike it too.
Here's a question: would it be better if they had you the requirement to dislike something would be like watch 50% of it, right?
I'd be okay with that. Steam does the time played for reviewers.
It's kind of the same thing with like the we saw some dislike or review bombing for like Captain Marvel before the movie had even come out. Yeah. And that's what changed Rotten Tomato and how they do their reviews. Because like people obviously have not seen the movie yet, and they're already negatively reviewing it. So I wonder if they should maybe do the same thing with YouTube.
Well, I kind of like half of me wants to say that I wouldn't mind doing away with user reviews and like user comments, but the other half of me says like, well, then how would we identify something on something, let's say, as innocent as like a shopping app? Like, oh, I need a spatula for my kitchen. Yeah. You know, I'm going to look at the most highly rated spatula in my price range and then just buy that. And then
if you make it, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and then like, if we take those away, then I like, are the really shitty spatulas that take 8 weeks to get there are going to go to the top? You know, like what's going to happen? Like,
yeah. And if you make it too hard to like prove that you own that product or whatever, then people aren't going to review at all, right?
That's the thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you identify the bad actors.
The thing with Instagram, though, is that Instagram and YouTube is, I didn't like the fact that they took away on Instagram the likes, like the public likes, but now I'm neutral about it, and I don't know of any detriment that has come to me as a result of it. So I'm not necessarily against it. Because the thing is like, when you're buying a physical product or even a digital product, when you're putting money forth, it's a lot different than going down Instagram and double tapping on a photo or clicking on the thumbs up on YouTube. So do you really need like confirmation you know, for you to be like, I like this video, but like no one else liked it on here. So should I press the like button?
Right.
It might actually be better for the creator for them to see an actual like dislike ratio where people aren't like like influenced by how many likes and dislikes there are. Because I'm sure there's been people that have disliked a video, go to dislike it. Oh shit, it's actually 90% likes. I better like it.
Well, I just jumped on Instagram here, and if you click on like the likes, you can still see a list of who liked it, right?
You can still see a list of who liked it, but you can't see how many likes there are.
But at the top, it says 3.7 thousand likes, and it says follow can see the total number of people who
maybe
liked this
maybe they
post.
went back on it then. Maybe,
but it's not visible on just like the timeline, right?
Yes. Yeah, like it what like so for example, I'm looking at this is like an image of a guy that takes pictures of landscape and it just says liked by this username and others. It used to say like liked by this username and 2,000 others or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't show me the it says this account can only see the total number of people who like this post.
Maybe the users can adjust that.
That's a good question. Like it was an experiment, like I said, in certain regions. Not that I've been following it closely, but I just wonder, like what's the benefit, short of me buying something? What's the benefit in me seeing what other people like or dislike?
Just seeing the popularity of it.
But the algorithm should do that for me. If I always like gaming posts and a bunch of other gamers like these other posts, then the algorithm should know, oh, maybe Matt would like this. And then that should be served to me for me to make a decision. Not served to me for me to see how many likes and be like, yeah, sure, I like it too.
Admiral Salin Koch. Kid Harington. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh my God.
I don't know why I remembered that.
That's such a random memory. I can't remember that game at all. Holy fuck.
And I remember Kevin Spacey's in other Call of Duty games, right?
Advanced Warfare. Yeah. Advanced Warfighter? No, Advanced
Warfare.
Advanced Warfare. Yeah, that's right.
All right, our final story for the week. The PS3, PS Vita, and PSP stores are closing down on July 2nd, 2021. Additionally, the remaining purchase functionality for PSP will also retire on July 2nd. After thoughtful consideration, we decided to make these changes in an effort to focus our resources for PlayStation Store on PS4 and PS5, which will enable us to enhance the customer experience even further. What does this mean for you? You will no longer be able to purchase PS3, PS Vita, and PSP digital content, including games and video content. You will also no longer be able to make in-game purchases through the games on PS3, PS Vita, and PSP. What about the content you already own? You will still be able to download your own PS3, PS Vita, and PSP content, including games and video content. You can download your own content onto your device by accessing the download list. Basically, you can no longer buy stuff.
What I heard was, I don't know if this clarifies it in that little email or whatever it was. But apparently, I remember where I read this separately, but apparently in order to be able to download it at any time post closure, you need to have downloaded it once before closure. So if you never triggered that download, if it's on your account and you just never downloaded it, it won't let you download it later. You need to have downloaded it at least once. That's something I read supplemental. I don't know if it's been confirmed. I'm trying to remember where I read it. I didn't make note of it when I put the thing in there, but I think that might be a thing. And we'll update next week when I'll see if I can clarify that. But that alone fucking sucks. Because do you know how many people probably have 1.5 million PS3, PS Plus titles that have been claimed but never downloaded? And those just might not be able to be downloaded.
I do remember that in the email it did say that you will be able to access your PS Plus, but that's a good question whether it had to be like I claimed it and I downloaded it. That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can't remember where the fuck I read it. You have to have like the downloads had to have been triggered before for your account. If it wasn't, it won't work later on. Which that in itself blows.
I know a lot of people have kind of brought up the fact that like how else do you get these games now? Because they're obviously retail copies aren't being sold.
Yeah.
They're talking about like the game preservation and how that's
Yep.
disappearing with the age of
We
digital.
need government intervention. We need a centralized government database where everything can be preserved and downloaded.
But we currently, the thing is though, is like beyond gaming, there's like products that come out and then go into obscurity. Like we don't archive everything. Otherwise we'd have fucking warehouses that are like the sizes of countries full up with like of stuff.
But the difference is, Matt, though, those things are physical items in which
you could preserve them though. You could
we could. The difference is though there's nobody stopping me from preserving it. We choose not to preserve it because somebody just didn't do their due diligence.
Yeah, but I could preserve the disc.
Yeah. Okay, but Matt, like, look around you. The mug that's on your desk. If you wanted to preserve it, you could preserve it. If nobody does preserve that mug, fine. That was on us. That was our responsibility to do it, and we just didn't do it. What's happening here, though, is somebody saying, you can't preserve that mug. That mug is going to go away. And as long as we don't have an infrastructure set up to get it, you can never have that mug. That's the difference.
But the thing is, though,
the onus is on us, not them.
It's similar to the right to repair, though. We like a lot of devices just aren't repairable anymore, and that's just the way it is.
But there's people fighting against that, though.
Yeah, there's like that's what I mean by right to repair. There's like a movement there, and you know whether I don't know what the status of that is, but like I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that like I don't really know how to handle it. I suppose.
And there are sites that archive that, like archive.org is a site that will just catalog information. It may be in a state where it can't be usable, but like the raw information might be there. This puts me in a little bit of a predicament.
Why is that?
Let me bring up the list. So,
oh God. You know, actually, wait a second. I have one really quick question. Is this the first game store that has shut down due to age?
No, hasn't the Wii one? Isn't the Wii one done?
Yeah, the Wii one sunset.
Right.
Yeah, but the Wii U still going.
Can you use the Wii one on the Wii U?
No, you can't use the Wii. The Wii store just never existed on the Wii U. Like they just while the Wii was emulated, the Wii store was not. What you could have done if you did it in a timely manner. In fact, I think you still technically can do it. Is if you have a Wii, you can just do a one-time system transfer to your Wii U, and then you launch into a virtual Wii on your Wii U to then play that thing. I think we talked about this last week with Tim. Yeah. Then what they allowed you to do is for $1 fee per game, they then let you repurchase those on the Wii U proper. So you didn't have to you didn't have to boot up into your Wii to get it. You just literally boot up into the Wii U.
The problem is that there's no money in it, right? In preserving these games, they're definitely not making enough money to sustain the infrastructure to keep the store online, right?
Well, this is also like you remember we had that story about I forget exactly what the story was actually directly about, but like the context was basically that like you know the IP is owned by the publisher or the developer or whoever, and these Twitch streamers could effectively be told to stop by the IP holders because like they're using their IP. Like, you know, you're playing Payday on Twitch or you're playing whatever, but like they don't because it's like mutually beneficial. Yeah. I would actually say that this is similar. Like you guys were saying that you guys were kind of not necessarily on the side of, but you were saying that like, yeah, like, oh, well, like the IP holders can do whatever they want. I would say this is the exact same thing. Where like you guys are calling for archival whatever. I mean, it's up to the IP holder. They want to make more money on it later by re-releasing it over and over again. Then you have, I guess, no right or whatever to it. You know, it's up to the IP holder. If they think that it's done in the market, then they have more control over that now because it's all digital, right? So like they can just be like, nope, you can't have this anymore. Sorry. And it's just that simple.
They totally have that right, but it's just like there's no assurances that it will ever be back again.
No, but that's
any form.
That's too bad though. That's up to the IP holder though.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Like, I mean, it's like I don't necessarily agree with it. Like, to be clear, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here. But like, I'm not. It's hard to be surprised by something I expect. I guess, like, I expect them to take it away and then resell it to me.
This isn't a surprising thing. It's just a sign of the world we live in. And there's no alternative. And Sony hasn't said, oh, we'll work on making these available at some point in the future or whatever. So for all we know, these games will be gone until Sony decides what to do with them.
Well, they're not gone though. You can download them.
If you own them, and possibly if you had downloaded them, if you never bought them, then and I decide to go back and want to buy something later, I can't. And
you have to buy an old disc though. Then
I had to buy an old disc. So I brought up the list and let me run through this predicament. Eons ago, when I had my PS2, I tried playing the original God of War. It didn't jive with me. I kind of fell off it, and I let the franchise kind of go by. Looking at the 2018 God of War made me want to say, hey, do I want to go back and play all of these God of Wars? By chance, my neighbor that I grew up with, he was cleaning out his house, and he's like, hey, I have a bunch of these PS2 games and PS games you want. He's like, oh, yeah, sure. And he gave me God of War and God of War 2. And I'm like, this might be a sign that maybe I should run through this franchise. So I started playing God of War on my PS3 using a PS2 disc. And I told myself, if I can get through this, maybe I'll give the second one a go. And what I decided to do ahead of time, this was months ago, was look at all the major entries in this franchise and see how I could reasonably get these. Through even the PSP ones, I am able to buy the PS3 ports of them through the PS3 store. Right now. I can't do that later now. Like, them shutting down this store may kill my God of War endeavor. Unless I just decide to buy everything and then download and just to have it. But I also have to ask myself, like, do I really want to do that with the possibility of me not actually getting to those games? It's like this weird gamble that I'm now stuck in.
But to be fair, it is your gamble. Like, you could definitely buy them now and then just download them later.
Yeah, but like, do I also just buy every game on the PlayStation Network and then download it and then delete it so it's registered an account and then I can download it anytime?
But that is your like choice though. Like, I am not gonna go back and play God of War 1. So if I boot up my PS3, I'm not playing God of War 1. Like, I'm not gonna download it. I'm not gonna buy it, even if the PS Store was up for another 5 years on the PlayStation 3. Like, it ain't gonna happen. So I'm like choosing not to do that. Like, the thing is that like they're giving you like an end date. I get what you're saying, like for data preservation, but this is the digital world. Like, just buy it again later.
You know what?
But I won't be able to buy it again later. That's the point.
Well, maybe you might be re-released.
No, but like right now, they're saying there is no option later. Now,
they might re-release the God of Wars.
They might, but they might not. But
you're right. You
can't say they might when they're right now. They're announcing. What they're telling you right now is, if you don't own this on this network using this console, you're not getting this.
But the thing is the same. It's almost the same thing as being like in the store. There's one of something left. It's on sale, and you're humming and hawing about getting it.
But you're not being told in that moment that this is the last one. As far as you're concerned, there are restocking options. There are manufacturing. Yes, but you're not being explicitly told in that moment that is the last one. Like, if you're holding something in a store saying, this is it, If you walk away from this now, you're never ever going to have the opportunity to have this again. Like that changes somebody's mindset. That would change my mindset in a store. It could be.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, like it could be something that I would never ever fucking use, but just knowing that it's the last one ever, or I won't have another opportunity, will make me do that.
You know what? This is another case where Xbox is kind of better positioned because all their games work on their most recent console. Mm-hmm. They can just keep all the Xbox original and Xbox 360 and Xbox One games in the same store. Mm-hmm. They don't have to shut down an old store.
Yeah.
And like it's like Sony, I hope from here on out, just keeps the same store going.
I don't think they will. Though.
No, I think they absolutely will.
I think they will. I think
from PS4 on,
yeah,
probably.
From PS4 on,
yeah,
absolutely. They're gonna do it. They're smart enough.
I hope so, at least.
It's a shame that like the God of War franchise is just one franchise of thousands of them, or tens of thousands of games that are not going to be accessible.
But I'm surprised that like you, Adriano, actually, like I'm surprised that you care at that level, because the Nintendo has like made you effectively repurchase games over and over again, or if your Wii U breaks, as far as I know, that Wii stuff is gone, and then you got to rebuy it again. And Nintendo sounds like, and this is speculation, with the whole Death of Mario thing and whatever, and the pay for Nintendo Network, and you get like the Nintendo, whatever it is, network app with all the classic games, whatever they call it. Like, it sounds like Nintendo smartening up and being like, you know what, like, let's just make them buy this over and over again, or at least have a subscription for it. Like, let's make sure that we make money on stuff that we have IP over, like forever, unless they're playing it on the old form factor. And like, I'm surprised that like you didn't have the same sort of response to when like the Wii store closed.
I had a similar. There's the upside. The difference with the Wii store is there's not much on the Wii store that's exclusive to the Wii store. It still sucks. I'm still disappointed. Like the same philosophy kicks in. Mm-hmm. But like the exclusive WiiWare, because it actually had its own title. It's not Virtual Console, but it was WiiWare.
Yeah, I remember
items that were exclusive to the WiiWare side of the Wii. There were few and far between. I think it was like less than 10 items, if I had to guess. And yes, those are not gone. But the things that were just Virtual Console, they are available on a Virtual Console still. I can still get it on the Wii U. And when the Wii U one shuts down, yeah, it sucks that I'll have to subscribe to the Nintendo Switch option, but at least I can still get it.
But like that's exactly what I'm saying though. So like look at the gap between that store closing down and the Nintendo Switch offering this stuff. Whereas like what I'm saying, you're saying, oh, it's a gamble if I'm going to buy these God of Wars. I'm saying, well, like they might re-release them. It's literally the same dilemma. There's like a gap in time in which they may or may not release these games, so that's it. But like, otherwise you have to find the used like discs or new old stock.
But the thing is though, there was no gap with the Nintendo. There was always every time they shut down, and when I say every time, the one time they shut down a store, mm-hmm. When they shut it down, there was another store already in place selling that stuff. There was no gap. There was no uncertainty. Like here, PlayStation is saying, like they're right now, this moment, they're saying this stuff's gone.
What about PS Now? Is it on there?
Not
some might be.
Some might be, but it's
no. But I'm talking about the God of Wars. If we're using like an isolated example,
let's take a look. I don't know how to.
I think you can like search online. Like you can just literally search the games. But like that is a way to get it if that's, you know what I mean?
If it's on there, but also while this may save the God of War franchise, I promise you not every single game is
No, not everything is definitely going to be saved. Like, yes, God of War HD, God of War 2 HD, God of War 3 HD God of War 3 remastered, God of War Ascension, God of War Chains of Olympus, God of War Ghosts of Sparta are all are listed on PS Now right now. There you go.
That makes me a little bit better.
So like they've basically, although probably not intentionally, but they've basically adopted the same model as Sony or as a Nintendo kind of. Whereas like, yes, I understand PS Now has some streaming games and stuff like that, but like barring infrastructure, it's like pay for a subscription, get all these games. It's the same with like the retro games with the Switch.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't think there's enough support to kind of put pressure on Sony. So this is probably permanent.
It's old, man. Like, to be fair, like,
it's not old.
That's the thing, though. It's their
old
company,
tech-wise, though.
And if it's not making money, they're gonna move those resources elsewhere.
Correct. Yeah. Not that
anyway.
not that I agree with it, but like, I'm just not surprised by something that like I'm expecting.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, folks. You can catch us on the Twitch over there at twitch.tv/DayOnePatchMedia. Almost said, yeah, that figures. You can check him out too. And that's it. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.